Hi, so we're back to a new episode. I was sick last week, so I couldn't release a new episode. Today, I want to talk about something that frequently come to my mind because, you know, over the years, things have gotten expensive, like on our level. And what I'm talking about is the cost of grocery, housing, etc. So when we think about like what is the quality of life in America and like what is the American dream? Like what do people believe in that? And this is more specifically toward um immigrant like my family. So, you know, say the ultimate goal in life is to make a lot of money, buy a nice house to live in. But if you already have that in other country, say if you have a decent house in another country and you know, then why do you need to feel the need to come to America? You know, one of my friend mentioned it to me that even though like people say that like quality of life in his country is not that great, but he said it doesn't affect him because he have a house, he have a job, like, he's fine with it, he doesn't wanna come to America. But my parents are totally different, they still, like, really believe in a strong sense of, like, the American dream, life is better in America. But for me, it's not. Everything is expensive. I have student loan to pay, I have to buy grocery, which is expensive. I have to pay my rent. It is and, healthcare is expensive. Over the years, I have tried to convince my parent that they need to retire in Asia because healthcare in America is expensive. So if they get sick, I'm not going to spend my entire saving to save them. They need to be able to have extra money to take care of it. And, you know, I met this person who was from Australia. He was staying in Los Angeles for a short time, and he was telling me that, it's awful here, like, in a way that, like, what people eat, what is affordable as food. He say, "In Australia, you can get better, healthier food for cheap, like, it's the price of fast food in America." And I thought about that, and it's true. There's a lot of processed food in America, and it's just as expensive as organic food due to inflation. So not only we're not eating healthy due to financial constraints, but it's it's just that it's affect your body in long term. In Asia, you can get fresh food. Street food is still fresh. They still kill the chicken live every day. Uh, in America, that's equivalent to what McDonald. Like, why do we feel the need that this American dream, well, not to me, but to my parent, is so precious? Obviously, I understand if you live in a war-torn country, you would want the American life would be better for you. Or if you live in poverty in other country and you're extremely poor and you get an opportunity in America, but that also come as your expense. You get financial aid, you still have to pay for it. I still have like 54,000 in financial aid, and that's not even a master degree. So what is like what is the point of clinging onto this belief that America is still the best place to live when you could move somewhere else, get more out of your money. For me, for me, certain people, like, to them, a lot of money could be like, oh, I want to make $1 million. That's a lot of money to me. Obviously, that's a lot of money at some point, but for me, it's like, I don't care to live in a big house. I don't care to drive fancy car. So in Asian culture, it's very important to show off your success. So you need a big house, you need a fancy car. To me, that's not important. You know, you just work so hard in America. They tax you. You barely have enough to pay your bills and spend on other things. So, like, what's the point of it's like this illusion that they put out there. It's like propaganda that life in America is great, it's the best quality of life. But when somebody gets sick in America, and I mean like really sick, if you get cancer in America, you have to probably sell your house to treat it or finance that in other ways, like getting a loan or something. Whereas other country, you pay higher tax, you got universal health care. When you get sick, you don't have to pay for it. Like that person that I talked to that came from Australia, and other people I know from England and other European country too. If they need to go to the ER, it's free. If you need to go to the ER in America, it's gonna be at least 3,000 or more. And when my grandma got sick, and like after she died, she was in a hospital for about 3 weeks. And they sent us the bill. It was horrendous. And we have to say that this person is already deceased. She can't pay the bill. So it's not, life in America is not that great. And inflation is a way for the capitalists, the people who control resource, such as grocery store. They sell stuff to the grocery store, gasoline, to just making excuses to keep you like in the just below, way below, so that you can't make it to the middle class, you can't make it to the upper class or anything. You're just surviving. You're just living paycheck to paycheck. You know, to me, a good life is that I go to work and have some extra money to spend on what I like. I pay for my online gaming subscription, which is around $12 a month. So I just want to I just want to save up 300,000 and move to a cheaper place to live, like Mexico, Thailand, any place that's cheaper than America, because I get more out of my money and that I get to enjoy life. I don't have to work two jobs, you know, you just survive. You're just surviving in America. You don't want to get to enjoy life because on the weekend you have to go out to socialize with your friend. That costs money too. And when grocery price go up, everything else go up. This is a very I think capitalist is gross in a sense is that there's nobody putting a cap to them and that they can do these things to you and there's no check system. So, you know, like to me, America is not that great. And some of you might disagree, and I'm okay with that. But just being here since I was 12, I don't, the education is horrible. You go to college, you get a lot of debt, and it's too competitive. It doesn't put you in the head of the job market unless you graduate from Ivy League, maybe Harvard. Still, so I've been thinking, just rethinking certain things, and I just like I don't care about all the being rich. I just like to enjoy my life. Yeah. get a small house and a dog. Yeah, so it's very frustrating that I work my regular hours, I do my overtime, I have to work 2 jobs, and I'm still not be able to pay off my student loan. I still have debt, so I need to get a new car. My mom had to co-sign with me. It, it's just like there's no way to like make more money because everything is expensive. College debt, like you can't enjoy life. It's just horrible. So you know, I don't get why my parents still chasing this dream that America is the best place to live. Nursing home here is horrible. They mean to you, and you have to still pay them US dollar. I don't I don't want to be, for me, like I'm not I'm not gonna take care of my parent. I don't even like them. So they should take care of themselves. You know, why you keep chasing this American dream when you have to pay out of pocket for any health treatment at the hospital and, you know, groceries expensive, but you're still eating processed stuff. Even the chicken is on steroids, so it's not even healthy. So it's, and there and they have to eat 3 meal a day, which lunch, breakfast, and dinner. That's a lot of money. Whereas even if I eat 1 meal a day, it's still money if I have to go buy like chicken and lettuce for get my vegetable. It's just drive me it's just so miserable for me of just going to work, doing overtime, and then look at my paycheck. And look how much they tax me. And then you know what? You don't have anything in exchange. It's not like they're giving you free health care. They don't give you anything in exchange for that. They just tax you. They don't improve your quality of life or anything like that. You know, just take more than half your paycheck for tax, income tax, and then if you need to go to the hospital, that'd be 3,000 or more. Yeah. So it's like, what do you give up of leaving America? You're giving up what? Paying income tax? Your freedom that who cares? If you go to other country, you just live your life, you know. What does that freedom even mean? I mean, sure, if you're in a communist country and they control free speech, then yeah, you would care about that. But for me, I don't care. If cost of living is cheaper, I'll go there. It doesn't matter. I don't care about my freedom, like like freedom of speech or whatever the hell that is. Like you know, when I asked my father like why did he cling to America so much, he's like, America is the best place to live. I'm like, no, it's not. You're you just recently get your teeth implant. Those are $3,000 for one tooth, one tooth, just one tooth is $3,000. You can get the whole like set done. So your upper teeth and your lower teeth somewhere in Asia, somewhere in Asia, like Vietnam, Malaysia, for like 500 to 700, somewhere around that range. And it's like the whole teeth, upper set and lower set. Why are you paying $3,000 for one implant tooth? And he have, so that's like four of those. So that's, it's a lot of money. It's like, and then we also have to get his insulin medicine for his diabetic, which costs money too. So it's like if you have a lot of health problem, living in America is not your best choice. I don't want to give up my house to treat my health issue. You know, I don't want to keep eating unhealthy processed food, and because the insecure people, the capitalist, the rich people are scared of So they actually what they do is that they make everything cost of living, grocery higher, so that they can just pull up that ladder. It's like, we're gonna stay up here by ourselves. You guys just stay down there. Don't come up here because they're insecure. And also the state of the politic in America is very, we're going backward. Like, I know a lot of people complain about, the woke movement or whatever, but I'd rather have that it was inclusive of LGBTQ people. It was inclusive of women rights. And now we're going back to the age of white people dominating. Just like, if you watch entertainment now, it's gonna be going back to that pattern that it used to be. It's like, oh, we have this one white guy, and then we have some other people of color in the back right there. You know, and it's like these racist people are coming out, and they can be racist, they can be sexist, and they can get away with it is because of the person who's the president. That image is what they be like. They feel like they can say those things to you because the president represent those two things, and it's just gross. Like, why would you why would you choose to go back to that time era, like the early '80s, the '90s, when the majority of the show was like white lead? You just saw white people and stuff. And even if they have like an Asian cast or other people of color, they also act like white people. They don't act, you know, like ain't no like nobody talk like each culture have their own way of like speaking and stuff. So it's just like it's not authentic, and it's gross that this country is going back to that time, that era of white supremacy, and that all these racists can come out to say whatever they want now because of what of who you vote for, which is you vote for that. Why would you vote for that? Is because insecure rich people feel like they're losing a grip, so they need to put somebody in power that would you know push that back, give them more power to get their racist, their sexist message out there. It's gross. Like, so I never want to get out of America more than ever now because of the gross political environment and everything else that go along with it. So that's just my thought for this week about the idea of the American dream and what America have you know given me. And if I think about it, it's still not worth it. I was fine living in my country in Asia. I was happy there. We have a small house. You know, I have I I have like fresh food. I don't have to eat these weird stuff that I don't even know what it is. They put turkey in the box, but it's like this slice is something that you're like, is this real turkey? It's just like what what am I like? You're not missing out if you just move to it. You would enjoy your life more. You could go somewhere where it's more affordable and your US dollar could go a long way. I just want to enjoy life. I don't want to stay in America anymore. I don't want to work until I'm 80 and I still like, you know, be poor because groceries, it's inflation, so things gonna keep going up. And like if your car break down, you have to buy a new car. It's more expensive now than it was before. Cost of housing and everything else. And just having to just say dealing with my parents when they're older with more medical issue. Like I just wanna just get out of the US. So yeah, yeah, you can let's start out there. So, it's one of those topic. Um yeah, so until next time, thanks for listening and have a good rest of your evening or you know, uh, afternoon if you're in another time zone or morning. I forgot. All right, thanks.